What happens when desire meets discernment in modern R&B? Let's talk about it. What's going on, y'all? It's your man Lighthouse, and you're now tuned into another episode of Everything for Everybody. And today we'll be discussing India Shawn's Subject to Change album. India Shawn's path to authorship reads like a quiet accumulation of moments that finally converge. In the mid-2010s, her pen moved through the industry via the Full Circle Collective, placing records for marquee voices while her own name remained in the peripheral. Yet the distinction between writer and artist always felt artificial. Her voice carried the same emotional clarity as her lyrics. Over time, that duality resolved itself. By the time she arrived at Before We Go Deeper, her name no longer required a cosign to hold attention. Subject to Change continues that trajectory with intention and focus. Across 6 tracks, Shawn operates with a clear thesis, articulating desire without apology. Much of that language arrives dressed in sweetness. The song Marmalade leans into invitation, framing intimacy through confectionery imagery, while the song Candy Blvd alongside Lucky Day expands that metaphor into a full landscape of flirtation. The writing feels playful but deliberate, mapping attraction as something both indulgent and navigable. When it sharpens, the tone lands with precision, allowing the imagery to feel experienced rather than ornamental. Moments of emotional clarity surface when the metaphors thin out. The song Till Infinity centers on definition, on asking for emotional specificity rather than suggestion. The vocal arrangement folds inward, harmonies layering until the sentiment feels internalized, almost meditative. Then the song Rain on Me reintroduces material pleasure, pairing desire with affirmation. At the core of the whole project, we have D-Mile, whose production threads everything together with restraint. His approach prioritizes atmosphere over density, acoustic textures, softened percussions, and bass lines that move with subtle weight. The arrangements feel less constructed than inhabited, giving Shawn space to shape the emotional architecture herself. It's a sonic environment that reflects familiarity, which is the byproduct of an ongoing creative dialogue rather than a one-off collaboration. I feel like anything D-Mile touches is just fucking fire. Like, anything that I see D-Mile as a part of, I'm already going to fuck with it because I just love his approach to production. The guy got some hits. The tonal shift arrives in the closing stretch. The song Kill Switch introduces a boundary, decisive, unambiguous, and necessary. It reframes the earlier openness as conditional rather than unconditional. The song Multiplicity extends that stance, addressing imbalance with clarity. The writing becomes more direct and less adorned and more exacting in its assessment. By the end, the EP moves from invitation to discernment, revealing a perspective shaped by experiences rather than idealism. And what emerges across Subject to Change is a portrait of someone who understands both the appeal and the limits of desire. The same voice that asks for the abundance also recognizes when the abundance becomes dilution. It's the awareness that gives the project its weight, an articulation of want that remains grounded in self-preservation. My favorite songs on the project are Candy Blvd featuring Lucky Day and also Rain on Me. I think those songs are super dope, and they're definitely in my rotation, and I'm going to be adding them into my playlist that I do all year round. You know, it's always going to be a playlist with me. All the songs that I like from the albums that I review, I find at least 1 or 2 or a couple songs from that project and I throw it right in that playlist. Sometimes you can forget the good moments that happen within a year. You know, 365 days is a long time to be consuming music, but it's something that I enjoy doing. Definitely 2 songs from this project made it to my playlist. But that's my time, y'all. Thank you for watching another episode of Everything for Everybody. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you are streaming or experiencing this podcast on a streaming platform for podcasts, you know, I'm using Spotify right here. You can do the same. You can use Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you check out your podcast. You can go listen to it there, and then you could go within the app and just listen to the album that I'm talking about. That makes sense, right? I know it does. But anyway, thank you for watching another episode. Until next time, take care of yourself. Peace. And we out. Chill.